Asiwafuna magwala yo asiwafuna mavelashoni yo asiyifuna imidlwembe yo sifuna amaqabane kaKhrisani yo. Sanibonani Dumelang. I open with a song that I totally love, but I do not enjoy that it is a political song because Siselena Magwala yo Siselena Movilashona. You know what I mean? Okay, so today's topic, did I welcome you? This is ASSense, right? Which is my initials, ASS, trying to make sense of this crazy, crazy, crazy world. You see, welcome, welcome. So now I'm trying to make sense of a very crazy phenomena. Yes, that people really believe that possibly, maybe, allegedly, that Dr. Sebi died a natural death. I tend to want to agree with conspiracy theorists that believe he was eliminated by the system. And the system is very vast today. I'm going to give you suspects because there's a lot of people who would have wanted to silence Dr. Sebi. He was known as is it the arch or is it the arch enemy of the pharmaceutical industry? I believe there's other industries that hated that man. So we will break down why I believe Dr. Sebi had to be silenced. That is the topic for today. Why he had to be silenced, why I believe he was eliminated, and why all the people that actually gave him praise and had influence were also silenced in some way or the other. This is ASSense. We're going to come back with a disclaimer because I know, definitely, without doubt, some are going to come for me because he was an enemy, therefore, thus, I'm also standing on the side of the enemy. So I'm very sensitive. And if we're going to argue, let's argue about what I'm about to share. Don't come for me. I've got my own issues. I've got my own problems. This is ASSense, and we're coming back. Mwah! I'm putting the disclaimer, guys. Please don't come for me. You see me. I've got big issues. Got big issues. I've got big shoes to fill. You see. I gave birth to a child. You see, and I thought to myself, and then he told me, the child, he said, "Mommy, me, I don't see myself having children in life. I just want to make money and travel." Me, I said, "Oh, very nice, very nice." And that means you can live your life. I live my life. I can do as I please. Then out of the blue, he changed his mind. He says, "Mommy, Mimi, I want to have big family, big family." The number of children that he wants to have makes me feel uncomfortable as to what is it that I'm going to teach my grandchildren. What am I going to offer them as their granny? So I'm like, if I die, at least maybe YouTube, you see, they're going to come and see my videos, you see, and learn something about Ukraine, and I would want them to know about Dr. Sebi and all the other people, you see, that the system didn't like, and all the other things that don't make sense in the system. So please don't come for me, please. I'm very sensitive, but I just want to teach my grandchildren. So if you come for me, you'll destroy me, but if you come for the topic, then you're going to teach me to learn more, and then I can teach my grandchildren more. But if you come for me as a human being, then my grandchildren are doomed, because they won't have a source of information, because I don't know if I'm going to live long enough. So yeah, that is my disclaimer. Don't come for me. Thank you very much. This is ASSense. We're coming back. You're probably thinking by now, what inspired this topic? Okay, then I said to myself, what inspired you to decide to now talk about a man, or a man that is late, actually, not even alive? What inspired me is hypocrisy, because I talk about death on episode 4, I think, here on ASSense. Please go look it up. Yeah, nginamalimi. My father used to have amalimi when he was stressed or he was cornered in a corner and you wanted money from him. Then he would. So I think something is cornering me, but I don't know what it is. I'm going to find it because the malimis are starting, which means something is making me nervous, but I have not yet pinpointed it, but I'll find it. Okay, so not that I'm nervous of this. Okay, so okay, you can go and look on death, right? I say we should not capitalize on people's death, right? When a person's dead, if you didn't care about them when they're alive, why should you care about them when they are dead? Well, in Dr. Sebi's case, we need to capitalize, I believe, because he was a man who believed that the system, or the industry, the pharmaceutical industry, loves us when we are sick, because then it can feed us treatments after medication, after prescription, after antibiotic, after everything. Do you understand? That is the type of version of a human being that it likes. It does not like a human being who is well informed from birth as to how to avoid illness. Dr. Sebi came and became that man who was teaching that from birth, from just coming to this earth, you can avoid all illnesses if you adhere to a certain lifestyle and to a certain way of treatment. But I'm going to get into that as we go further. But what inspired me is the fact that I know he was isolated. So I want to look at as to why he was isolated. I believe he was eliminated, allegedly, whatever. Yes, they believe he passed away in a jail cell on the way to the hospital because of pneumonia. There was a cause behind that as well. But we'll unpack and talk about that. But more than anything else, today's topic, I just want to emphasize how, yes, that's the inspiration. I want to emphasize how this man, personally, for me, myself, and I am not representing any other human being. I am not representing my child. I'm not representing my husband. I'm not representing even my losses. Just me, myself, and I, according to the knowledge that I have read upon and also maybe experimented on myself regarding Dr. Sebi. I know he crushed the entire medical and pharmaceutical industry into non-existence for me. I'm trying to share with you why I say I don't see myself ever seeing a doctor again. I don't see myself ever being admitted in a hospital, conscious and aware. Maybe if I faint and I collapse, then my son and my husband can call an ambulance and I go to hospital. But me, myself, walk into it willingly or walk to a doctor's office with all the knowledge and the information that I have. Never. It's a never for me. And I'm hoping it will be a never for my grandkids. And I'm hoping it's going to be a never for you as well, once you take the time out to actually do your homework about Dr. Sebi. I will give you some highlights and then I'm just going to close it because I don't want to be long. This is ASSsense. We are coming back. Like, comment, subscribe, leave put a notification tones there, so to make sure that next time there's another topic, you're above board, not below board. You see, we are coming back. I'm not going to be, how shall I say it, biological or technical or scientific and whatnot, and when I try and break down with Dr. Sebi, because I find that, I find that I was confused because of all the bombarded by too much information, and I wish at times he was explained to me how I now understand him. And I'm hoping my understanding of him will be your understanding of him, so that you can be inspired to then go do your research and your homework. This is not gospel truth. This is just speculation. This is reasoning. This is thought. This is, just trying to see, Uguti, if this man said A, B, C, D, then surely maybe they killed him. That type of thing. But I'm not saying it is the case. Please don't come for me. Don't sue me. But he was an enemy of the pharmaceutical industry and many other industries. So let me break it down for you. Romantically, Dr. Sebi was born in 1933, 26th of November, if I'm not mistaken, in Honduras. Hey, if I can't say it and you can't say it's okay, because Nami, I'm not expected to get other things right when you can't say that type of thing. I don't really stress myself anymore with languages that I did not breastfeed from my mother's breast. I don't stress. So Hondarus, Honda, the Ras, there he's coming from, that island, right? If it's an island or a country or whatever, geography was the worst of my strongest of points. All I know is he learned a little bit of herbs and whatnot from his grandmother, but according to the internet, they emphasize that his grandfather was a descendant from Haiti. So I don't know why they highlight that, but my understanding or knowledge of Haiti is they know their herbs and the spirits and energies and all of that. I fear I would never, I myself, take on someone from Haiti. I don't know, spirituality, spiritual, not yet. Okay, fine. So, okay, he was raised by his parents. They taught him a bit of herbology or herbs and whatnot, but it did not help because by the time it was the 80s, 1980, so he was probably in his late 40s. My maths, maths as well is not a good one. Yeah, maths was not a good one. The only ones that were very good were where I had to talk, see English, I was passing very well. Okay, so he then in the 1980s he was bombarded by illness. He was overweight, he had diabetes, he was impotent, things were not rising anymore sexually. He had asthma. What else was and visual impairment. So if ever you see me looking down, please forgive me, because I've tried to put some things on point so that I don't just become all emotional and not factual, right? I'm trying. So he had all these conditions, and then he decided he's going to go visit a herbalist in Mexico by the name of, he had Alfredo Cortez. Yes, this herbalist, his name is Alfredo Cortez. I believe it's very important to put him on the right side of history, because he is the man that helped to accelerate Dr. Sebi's prior knowledge, and then what he received in terms of healing and whatnot, and he put it together, and then he went home with Dr. Sebi back to Honduras when he was healed or cured. I'll put it under inverted commas, healed or cured, because I don't want you learned people to come for me and say, you know. Okay, so with the information that he had learned in Mexico, he went home, and he started what is called, I believe, is what I would call a holistic clinic, because I believe he worked spiritually and also physically to heal a person, and his motto, if I'm gonna use very simple English, because I'm trying to explain it to you as if you're a 3-year-old, because that's how I would have wanted to Dr. Sebi to be explained to me slowly, one by one. So he had a motto in his clinic that says that all diseases, as in all diseases, HIV, AIDS, diabetes, Alzheimer's, terminal, not terminal, he believed could be cured or healed through a program of fasting and then adopting what is called an alkaline, a plant-based alkaline diet. He even went as far as give it a bigger, so in a bigger biological tonton. It was called the African bioelectric cell food therapy. You need to underline that word African, because one would say, yes, Dr. Sebi was for everyone. Yes, it was for everyone. But I believe his study and everything was based on the maybe the ways and diets of Africans. Okay, now prior to us being disturbed, because we were disturbed, even if we think we were helped by people who came to Africa to teach us how to read and write, we were still disturbed. Maybe we were better off sitting there by the river, by the mountains with our cows and our sheep, talking to them, than now when we are overweight and sick and depressed and stressed and stuck in traffic. We were disturbed, but don't wanna believe me, but it's fine. Okay, so okay, before we were disturbed, in fact, even after we were disturbed, I will take you home. Me, I like to take things home. Yes, to my mother's village where my mother grew up, with her mother and her father. Do you understand? There was no electricity, water we had to go and fetch there by the river. You see, so food, that was a staple that kept them going and healthy. And these people hardly got sick. These people hardly got sick. So the food that they used to have, the basic foods, was your vegetables. And if they wanted meat, they'll have to catch a chicken and slaughter it. And that chicken is fresh. If they want a beef, they'll have to slaughter, you understand? But that to me then says, because they didn't have fridges and all of that, they did not eat meat as often as we eat meat. By meat, I'm even saying something as trivial as an egg, which we take for granted and we eat every single day. In the villages, I am guessing, because the people that I believe, Guti, all of the people in my mother's village right now, in her home, the ones who are still there, are healthier than the people that left the village and came to the city to find gold. I have an aunt who can wake up at 4 o'clock every day without being and she's probably in her 80s, and she still works in the garden, and she still takes care of all her grandkids. Now she's even taking care of her great grandkids, and those great grandkids now they are making more kids, because Galogu, everyone just dumps kids with her, then they go. Then these ones, they grow up now, they go, and then they dump. But the point of the matter is, she can still see with the eye of a needle. She can wake up and exercise. She can feed these kids. She can never once says she ever complained. After all, it's her children from the children of her womb. But Oksalayo, she's fresh, can run around, she's here. Why? Because she doesn't eat meat every day, because they don't have electricity, they don't have a fridge to store meat. Therefore, the things they eat are the stuff that is in their garden. The shops are there. You have to think 7 times before you go to the shops. Do you understand? You have to write a list and make sure you don't forget anything, because you can't go excess, like how you can just get into your car and drive to the nearest convenient garage where you can get anything of convenience that's going to kill you. Anyways, I'm talking too much. So, okay, Dr. Sebi had this system, which I believe, as I say, he calls it African because of how Africans did not have access to as much consumption today as they had prior. Therefore, this diet and this system was our way of life. It was not even something that we adopted. It was who we were. And therefore, we were healthy because we were observing all of these things that he says we should not have. So I'm going to come back and continue with, yes, I just need to, yeah. This is ASSsense. Please like, comment, subscribe, put a notification, do the things, make me grow so that I can give you more. You know what I mean? Thank you. His name, his original name given to him by his parents or his grandparents was Alfredo Bowman. But he's known as Dr. Sebi, a man who never went to school, did not study any medicine, did not study whatnot, but decided to make it his life journey after he was cured through a system of plant-based alkaline diet and fasting. He decided that he's going to share it. And he went as far as did extensive research on our foods and how they have evolved over time. Not foods as per se, but your plants basically. So your veggies, your sprouts, your whatever, the things that are under that come from the soil. So he's the guy who would tell you, Guti, the bananas that we're eating today are not the same bananas that we used to eat in Africa originally. The ones that we eat today have been, they've become hybrid. They've lost the fruits that we've eating today. They've lost their seeds, and when they have lost their seeds, they've lost their purpose. So, and then, okay, number one. So there is Dr. Sebi. He comes firstly. Not only is he attacking the pharmaceutical company, which I'm still coming for, but he first attacks just the fruit and veg industry itself, because he says within the fruit and veg industry, there's lies, there's fake fruits, there's lab created fruits, there's dontons, which he says causes illness. Okay, then he goes into, I'll discuss this illness now. Then he goes into the meat industry. Of course, look at how big the meat industry is. We're talking beef, poultry, pork, mutton, chicken, seafood. Now we're even talking game. We're even talking elephants. Our president showed us that even an elephant, crocodile. We eat. There's a place, is it called Carnivores, a restaurant that serves all types of meat. You see. So now here's Dr. Sebi. He says, cancel all of that. Cancel all of that. All of it. Don't leave one. Cancel it, because all this food has been, these meats of ours have been injected. We all know. They've been injected, they've been put hormones so that they quickly grow. The other ones are being injected so that they produce more milk. So everything that we are consuming from these animals, they are not pure. And they're not clean, and they're not been raised as our forefathers used to, and they used to eat out in the wild. And now everything is quick. Born today, you must be plumpy as a chicken so we can sell you now. Everything is. So if everything is, don't you think your health as well as you're eating these things is? Because you're not eating as you're supposed to. You're eating with the same pace, eating the same chemicals that are rushing that animal that you are eating. That was what he was saying. So here is Dr. Sebi. He attacks fruit and veg. He attacks the meat industry. Then he comes for the alcohol industry as well. He says, don't do it. Don't do it. Then he comes for the sugar industry. Sugar do. Tip, do. You remember that advert? Velo isinika amandla. I love sugar. You're going to die. You're going to die because you believe a system that's selling you something. That's because it's on TV. Sugar kills. Go look it up. Go look it up. If you don't believe me, ask yourself, why is there Coke and Coke Light? Why is there a Red Bull and Red Bull Light? Less sugar, zero sugar. Why are things becoming light? The fact that things are becoming light, that means the strong ones are killing you. Why are they becoming light? Sugar do. Then he came for the starch industry. He came for the starch industry. Starch, we're talking in milli cob. Your milli, the one we all love, the one you can find in almost every South African kitchen, even Afrikaner kitchen, make pap and vlees braai. Comes for that one now. You see, these industries is attacking millies. The one thing we believe is our staple. The one thing that is a $1 million industry. It's $1 million industry in Africa. Mill. Papa. Goes to Zimbabwe. Bring them to South Africa. I have seen it with my own eyes. People eat pap. Go to Nigeria. Bring them to South Africa. It might not be the pap. We know there's yams, there's what. But the point of the matter, we love with the sheba. You see. So, these are a lot of industries. This man said, have I listed them? Meat, sugar, starch, alcohol, and any other foods that are not plant-based, meaning foods that did not grow from the soil. So now he's also saying cancel takeouts, cancel fast foods, because they are fast to make. You go there, I want chips and burger. Within 10-15 minutes, you have your food, you're eating. But it's also very fast to kill. But we don't want to talk about these things because we don't want to give up the lifestyle. Because it's not nice to give up meat. It's not nice to give up alcohol. Damn it, it's a torture to give up sugar. Who's going to have food nyama ngaphakathi without pap? You get it? Okay. Because now he's cancelling breads. He's cancelling flours. So this man was not just an enemy of the pharmaceutical industry. He was just an enemy of the system. Because all of these things that he cancels are the things that you watch on television every day. The system is willing to pay for them, that you watch them. I am the one who used to get the scripts, to go to auditions, to go and sell you these things. But now my conscience says I can't sell you these things anymore because I know better. Hence, I can't even go back and do adverts anymore unless that advert aligns with my way of life. Because if it doesn't, I can't be selling you things that I know according to Dr. Sebi. He says all of these foods, Bandas, all of these foods, they cause what is called, they bring acid into the body. All of these food that I've listed, your meats, your starches, your sugar, your alcohols, your processed foods, the vegetables and the fruits that don't have seeds, those ones, you should be careful of those. You're supposed to eat fruits that have seeds and all of that. If your watermelon does not have seeds, it is not the original watermelon. Run. But can I eat it even if it's not? Other day I ate one, it felt like, tasted like candle wax, but I wanted watermelon. I wanted, but it's got acid. That's what he says. So he says this food has acid, and then this acid then cause mucus in the body. So all disease, he says, is created by the acid that we consume in these foods, and then this acid then translates into a mucus in our body. So for instance, he made an example and he said, if for instance they say you've got cancer of the liver, that means you've got mucus in the liver that needs to be detoxed, taken out of the liver, so that you can be cured of cancer. There was even a video they showed from the alkaline community, because I've been following the alkaline way of life, and sometimes I dabble in it, but I don't have the pure discipline that's needed. But then I've got all these groups and all of that in social media that I follow, so that I can learn a lot and find inspiration when I lose my way. So they showed a liver of what I believe was a cow, and they said that this cow had cancer. So Dr. Sebi says where there's the tumor, there's a mucus or pus in there that needs to be drained. So this cow obviously was dead, but they were experimenting on its liver, and they went and they pierced exactly where they had said the cancer tumor is, and a yellow pussish substance came out. You wouldn't want to see that, but in first sight. But as disgusting as that was, that sight released me from any other not knowing or understanding of what disease is. As much as I've never gone to school, and I don't even want to study medicine, and I don't want to study anything that's got to do with it, I then started to believe this man and understand this man, because he is saying, if they say I have a cancer of the lungs, that means in my lungs there is mucus that needs to be taken out. So he was saying, let's use some herbs. We'll put you on a program whereby you, for maybe let's say, for usually the minimum, because now people have evolved in how they treat, but they're also part of the alkaline community. But I would say, he would say, maybe you go to his clinic. If let's say you need extensive help, you go to his clinic. They'll put you on a program of maybe fasting for, let's say, maybe 21 days to about 40 days. Some it's 7 days, some it's 14. But I would say, maybe if you really want to do away with illness, I think they'd have to put you on a fast with herbs and sea moss gel for about 40 days. So in this time, you'll probably be having fresh juices from the list of foods that are on Dr. Sebi's list. So you, in between the herbs and all of that, you understand? So he was saying, you go on this 40-day, you will end up sweating and taking out whatever disease that you have. Some have done these fasts, and you'll find, Guti, if maybe they had some disease in their body that brings about rash, when they are in the fast, you will see that the rash will appear, because that's the body's way of ejecting and showing you, Guti, this is where the illness is. And then if you continue with the fast, with time, everything will be gone. That's the belief system, of which that is the route I would personally myself rather take than have anyone cut me up and chop me up and stitch me up. I'm done with that side. I'd rather experiment with fasting and waiting for my turn. But okay, we'll come back. This is ASSense. Don't forget, man, do the things there. Like, comment, subscribe if you're getting it. If you're not getting it, you'll never get it. But this is ASSense. We're coming back. Mwah! So, okay, one day, as I said, a man made it easy. As in closing, in conclusion, we are done, I promise. This man made it easy for me to not panic. Yes, he basically, he got rid of any fear. If someone can say to me now, Ati, you've got diabetes, or if I were to wake up in the morning and God forbid I have diabetes, I I myself, I'm sorry, not you. Please don't follow me. Don't follow me. I'm just trying to make sense as to why this man was hated and why I personally would rather opt for his option of healing. I would, if I can, and I can afford it, talking to the rich ones, if Dr. Sebi was still alive, because now I don't know what's going on in his clinic. You know, once you die, usually your legacy, yeah, if ever you didn't leave it to the right people. So I don't know if the clinic is still credible or not. But when he was still alive, prior to 2016, when he died, but I would have gone to his clinic myself and did the whole 40 days thing with the herbs and the juices, fast, get thin as thin if I have to, become skin bone, and tuturuza every sickness out of my body through the backside if I have to. If it even comes up here, let it come everywhere. If it comes everywhere, and then after that, adopt the alkaline way of life and come back and say, let's see if you as well, if you've got diabetes, that's the way of doing things. A person that once did with that was the late Left Eye of TLC. Don't go chasing waterfalls. I see the girl, I see the rainbow, I see, you see that girl? Yeah. Her name was Lisa Lopez. I hope I'm saying it right. But most know her as Left Eye. Left Eye died in Honduras as well. It was an accident. And she was very much into Dr. Sebi. And if you know the times back then, Left Eye was of influence. She was amongst the three members of TLC. I would say Left Eye was the rebel. If the others conformed, Left Eye didn't. If the others smiled for the press, Left Eye was the one who would stick her fingers up to the press. You know, that type of thing. So she had influence because it was a time of, we are all coming up, the veil is being lifted in terms of information, we are no longer just conforming, spirituality was starting to take its place amongst the sheeple, you know. So she was a force to be reckoned with when it comes to the Black American community during the time of HIV and AIDS, when pharmaceutical companies wanted you to believe in them, because then that was our pandemic in the 80s, 90s, right? Before the coronas and everything. So there's also a pattern here. They bring pandemic, then they bring you pills. Bring pandemic, and then they bring you pills. I'm just saying, there's a pattern. So yeah, and again, Dr. Sebi was saying in the 80s, I can cure. And he did. I think he cured about, I'm not sure, guys. Please, now this is the part. 12 or 16, I don't know. But he cured people. And his mother said to him, the industry is coming for you. And true to her word, it might not have been at that time, but maybe 5-10 years later, Dr. Sebi found himself with his first case. They first charged him with not practicing without a medical license, and it was acquitted. Yeah, because of certain things. There was a term they used that he used to fight for himself, and I thought that is why they killed him, because now he has shown other herbalists how to fight when they come up with their own systems. You understand? Okay, so that amongst his many other patients, in closing, guys, Michael Jackson was one of them. Ever? As much as maybe Michael Jackson was not like who was not as fanatic as who left eye, because who left eye died trying to push the Dr. Sebi lifestyle and all of that, because she had been cured. As to what it is that she had, we don't know. Some speculate and say she had HIV or AIDS. Some speculate and say she had lupus. But the point of the matter is, she went to that island or that place, Honduras, and did what was necessary. And she even was the one who introduced, according to the internet, she's the one who even introduced ASSsense as part of a treatment by Dr. Sebi. That is how far deep she was, because she went on a 42-day fast, according to Dr. Sebi, and then on her 42nd day, she walked into his room carrying ASSsense tea and said, this needs to be part of your program. You also need to heal and whatnot. So Dr. Sebi was touched by that and all of that and all of that. But the point of the matter, that's how fanatic Left Eye was. That's how serious she was of this. And she was an influence in the black community in America. So if she dies in a mysterious way, like an accident, when there's people who can create accidents, you are left wondering. Same thing happened to Nipsey Hussle, another person who was a fanatic about Dr. Sebi. He may not have maybe lived the life. I don't know. I don't really know Nipsey Hussle. I only know Nipsey Hussle when he died. That's how much, let me hide my eyes. I'm embarrassed and humiliated. That's how much I know about Nipsey Hussle. I only found out when he died. Then I found out he had something to do with Dr. Sebi. Then I was like, nah, man. 3 patients got Dr. Sebi that had influence died mysteriously. One of them was the big one, Michael Jackson. Yes, I was still saying. Have you ever seen a Michael Jackson concert? Live concert. Have you seen children fainting, breathless, ambulances, paramedics busy because Michael Jackson just passed by the children all collapse? So if Dr. Sebi has Michael Jackson as a patient, think about it. Think about the masses that would shift from Panado and Disprin when they have a headache to fasting for 40 days to ensure that they never, ever get a headache again. Basically, Dr. Sebi's system was about eliminating all illness in your system, eliminating it to an extent that you will never need top of the shelf medication or chronic medication or any form of medication. That is how he meshes it up for me. And therefore, it makes sense why he had to be a target. Okay, so then he was arrested in Honduras. They say it was money trafficking. They found him with, I don't know, $37,000 in his bag. He was flying. This is a man who had a business of healing, herbs, wara. Money was coming in. Money was good. But they arrested him. We've got a president here who has, I don't know how many dollars of billions under his mattress. But we're still fine. This one, they took him. You see, because he was a threat to the system. They took him and they put him in jail. So if you are in jail, what is the diet like in jail? If you are someone who only eats, who drinks herbs in the morning and has maybe a plant-based meal in the evening, because his system is we fast until, I think for 16 hours, I'm not too sure. So I'm guessing maybe you'll have your first meal, let's say maybe around midday. And then after that, you'll have midday, maybe you have a smoothie or you'll have a juice. You'll have something light and your herbs and everything, and your teas in between. Then again, at night, maybe you'll have like a salad or what. But all of these foods are within the list. If the food is not on the list, it's an enemy. So then all those foods that are not on the list are Dr. Sebi's enemies. Everything that's not on the list is Dr. Sebi's enemy. Hence, I'm saying he was not just an enemy to the pharmaceutical industry. He was an enemy to the system itself. It made the medical system restless because this man was saying, Uguti, we don't need operations. We don't need to be cut. We don't need organs removed. We just need to go on a 40-day fast. If we really, I'm guessing you need to believe and be in a state of mind, taking these herbs and whatnot, and then adopting a new lifestyle completely. So it's a sacrifice that makes us not like Dr. Sebi, as the common man. It's the gift of life that makes the system hate him, because he empowered me, and I'm hoping he empowers you. But before he empowers you, go and read about him. Read about the lifestyle he was talking about. Read about the illnesses. Read about how he cured people, his ways, his herbs, his zonke. Do you understand? And then come back and tell me that you will still have fear. I don't have any fear, son. Even that chicken pox, I don't have any fear. Even that corona, I don't have no fear. There's absolutely no fear anymore. Because if for true, and this is not misinformation, please guys, I'm not saying, I'm just saying, if this is true, then I've been released. And if you can find truth in it, then you will be released as well. This is ASSsense. We've been talking about Dr. Sebi, a hero, a man I would like even my grandkids to know existed, just to make sure that we are cured without having to go through the pains that the system gives us as an alternative to healing and curing. Dianitanda. Mwah!